Hello, good morning students. I hope you all are fine and safe at your home. I also hope that you are ready with your textbook, notebooks, pen, everything with you, creating the educational environment. I also seen in the class groups some of the students are doing their homework, performing some of the activities, but rest students also do it and motivate by the other students also. So today we start our lesson gravitation. So it is a revision for you. So gravitation, Gurutva, Akarshan. Let us recall our previous knowledge with the help of few activities. So let's see what I am doing. I apply the force on the object. What happens? It moves from the rest position and stop at the next position. Means by applying force, object move from one place to another place. Let us see other activity. Suppose the car is moving. Car is moving on the road. What I did? I kept my hand here. So what happens? Let's see. Yes, it changes its direction also. I stop here by applying the force. When I kept my hand here, some force is applied by my hand. So for the moving objects to stop, we have to apply the force. Previously we said by applying the force also it changes the direction. See, it changes the direction. So now this is a small ball. Observe what I am doing. I am hitting the ball. What I did? I hit the ball. First slowly, then so the speed of the ball increases. Why it increases? Firstly, what I did? I applied the force in a smaller amount. Next, I applied more force. Then the speed of the object increases. So let's see another object. This is ball. Is it this? What I am doing? I am applying the force on this. So what happens when I am applying the force? It crushes. Means it changes the shape. Let us consider another object, rubber band. See its original shape. When I am applying the force, what happens? The shape of the object changes. So, let's see what questions I have there kept on the board for you for recalling the previous knowledge. What is force? What are the different types of forces? What are the effects of a force acting on the object? What do you know about the gravitational force? So in these activities, we seen what is force. A force is nothing but a pull and push of the object. Push, pull. So force is defined as a pull and push of an object. What are the different types of forces? So let's see. When I applied force on this ball, which force is there? The force is applied by our muscles. That means muscular force is there. It changes the shape of the ball. Okay. Let's see this activity. When I hit the ball, there is a contact between the ball and the table. Means there So friction. So here frictional force is also there. See one activity. This is magnet. What I am doing? Observe. I kept the pin and I am moving the magnet towards the pin. What happens? The pin get attracted towards the magnet. Means the magnet pulls the pin. See, one more time, means it is a pull. So that is called the magnetic force. Likewise, there are so many forces such as the motion of electrons and protons in an atom. They are also pulled towards the center. Let us consider another object. When the small pieces, you did this experiment in a smaller classes. When you rub it, small pieces of the paper gets attracted. Is that clear? So which force? Electrostatic force. Now you tell any other force. So I am telling electrical force, magnetic force, electrostatic force, and see what I am doing. I am dropping a ball on a table. What happens? It gets attracted downwards towards the earth. Means earth is applying the force due to gravity and the gravitational force. The object attracts towards the earth. Not this ball, there are so many objects. I am standing on table, all the objects are kept here. So all these are attracting to each other. So there are so many forces in nature. So likewise the magnetic force, there are so many forces, gravitational force, electrostatic force we have seen. So we get the answer of this question. What are the different types of forces? I hope you understood. Let's come to forward. What are the effects of forces? So see what I did. When we apply the force, stationary objects gets into motion. When I am applying force, moving object stops. There also force is required. What happens next? When I apply the force, it increases the speed of the object. So we can increase the speed of the object also by applying the force. What happens? By applying the force, we can change the direction of the objects also. So force can also change the dimension, that is the shape of an object. So these all are the effects of forces. So let's consider one more example. So see here, it is a toy. What I am doing? Observe it carefully. I am pulling this toy towards myself. So what you see? The force is acting in the upward direction. Suppose it is 1 Newton force. Let's see once again. I am applying the force. Means, is this force? Yes, it is a force, but it is not in a direct contact. It is this ribbon. So with the help of the ribbon, I am pulling the toy. So when we are pulling, force is applied, but not directly. Indirectly, we are in contact with the help of this ribbon. So what I am going to say here, when I am applying the force, Force acts in the upward direction. So it has some direction as well as the value. What is that value? 1 Newton means magnitude. So it is having both magnitude as well as the direction. So force is a vector quantity. Is that clear? Now let's see. Here once again this activity I am repeating for more understanding. When I am applying the force, what happens? It is first in contact with our hand, then in table. So the wheels are in contact with the surface of whether it is on the road or on the table. So it is a real contact. This is a real contact and this is not real, means it is not directly contact. It is contact with the help of this ribbon. So force is a vector quantity. So here what we see, what is a force? Means then force at contact and force at distance. So here we have seen the gravitational force. Once again see what happens. Force is applied by the earth due to gravity and this force is called the gravitational force. Likewise, electrostatic force we have seen, it is also a force which is at a distance. Magnetic force which is also at a distance. Then what? Electrostatic force. Nuclear force, the attraction between the protons and electrons in the orbit of the atom. It is also at a distance. So likewise, gravitational force is also at a distance. So coming forward, so here I want to tell something before we move further. So let's see what I am telling. Ball comes down due to gravitational force. So Sir Isaac Newton, you all know the story about the apple and the tree. He saw, see once, like the apple, this ball is falling from the different height. Likewise, he saw that apple is falling from the different heights towards the earth, and that too is the center of the earth. So he observed and studied and he found that it is due to the gravitational force. The apple is falling from the trees from the different heights. So in nature there are so many things which are falling towards the earth. So all are having the force. Any objects in the universe, all are having the force. They are in contact with each other at a distance, not directly. So it is an invisible force. So I want to tell before the centripetal force we start. So here in 1965, when the Isaac Newton in 1965, he worked from home when the University of Cambridge temporarily closed. In that period, it is due to the plague. So in that period he do a lot of productive work for his life, and he used this time to develop the theories in so many fields: calculus, optics, gravity. So there are so many things he discovered in that time, and you are also familiar with the laws of motion which you have studied in the 9th class. 3 laws of motion, these are also given in your book. So you go to 9th class book. We have already done the activities on that. What are the 3 laws of motion? He also worked from the spectrum of white light, universal gravitation constant, which we are learning further, reflecting telescope, integral calculus. So he invented these things also. So there are so many researchers, so many work done by the Sir Isaac Newton. Before this, I also want to tell you that the time period from 1564 to 1601, Tycho Brahe, he also studied, he also do his work. And after that, Johannes Kepler from 1571 to 1630, he was also an astronomer. He do a lot of observations on our planetary motions, space, lot of work is done by. After that, from 1643 to 1727, Sir Isaac Newton, he takes the help of these works done by the Tycho Brahe, Johannes Kepler, and he proved the theories of gravitation, laws of motion, universal gravitation, etc. So come to our topic further. So let's see one activity. What is this activity? What I am doing? See. This is a string, a small wooden disc. I am rotating. While rotating, what is happening? It is moving in the circular path. So it is the force. So let's understand. When the string is in my fingers, I am holding like this. So force is applied here. So while rotating, this force is attracted towards the center. Where is this attracted? It is attracted towards the center of the circular path. So you have already done this experiment. I am just revising. So what happens when this force is attracted towards the center? That force is called the centripetal force. See here what happens. There are so many activities you can understand. So here you have to observe. This is the disc. I am keeping the coin at the different positions on the CD where it is falling. Let us observe. Observe where it falls. Where it falls. See once again. It is very simple to observe. So we have already done in our exhibition this experiment. You can make easily the CD. Center marble is there. You can rotate like this and keep the coin at various positions. Observe carefully, and you also do this activity at your home. So when I am keeping different positions, what happens? It is going straight. Here it is also going straight. Is that clear? So let's understand more. Now come to this activity. When I am rotating, I am pulling towards the center with the help of my fingers. So when I release it, what happens? It goes tangentially. So after a release, the object moves on a perpendicular tangent at right angles to the radius. An object moves on a perpendicular tangent. Here perpendicular tangent at the right angles to the radius. So see here, there are so many activities you have already done. If you want to do, you can also do it. So let's move further. So centripetal force is there between the two objects when the object is in circular motion. So coming further, this is earth, and this is moon. So now consider these two objects. So you all know moon is revolving around the earth. Is that clear? So while revolving around the earth, what happens? Is there any force between the moon and the earth? Yes. So see, moon, this force is towards the center. Is that visible? This force is acting towards the center of the earth. Is that clear? So here also centripetal force is there. So in universe there are so many galaxies, Milky Ways. So let us consider the Milky Way galaxy. In center there is a sun. All the planets are revolving around the sun in a elliptical orbit, not fully circular but elliptical orbit. So is there any force between the different planets and the sun? Yes, all the planets, they are attracting towards the center of the sun. So here also centripetal force is there. Is that clear? So few concepts we will learn in the universal gravitational constant. So here you keep in mind that in our solar system there is also a centripetal force, means the force of all the planets is towards the center of the sun. So all the planets revolve around the sun. So I want to tell you the first planet is Mercury. We have taken 2-3 orbits only. So the revolution period of Mercury is 88 days, and the farthest planet which is having the revolution period of 129 days. So all these revolve around the sun. That is called revolution of a planet. So coming further, So let's consider. Just now I introduced about the scientist Johannes Kepler. So in your book this activity is given of ellipse. So by cutting the cone in an inclined plane, not this one. By cutting the cone in an inclined plane, what we will see? What we will see? Likewise, see, it is inclined cutting. So this path is called an ellipse. If we cut like this, it is a circular path. See here, this is a circular path. So just like the shape of the rubber band, circular. But by cutting these in an inclined plane, see, this is then ellipse. So I want to tell you how it's possible. So let's consider an activity. This activity. What I am doing, see here. 2 pins are there. Is it visible? So what I am doing, see here. I am tracing the line. When I trace the line, which path is formed? It is an ellipse. Let us do with 1 pin. See what will be there. Which shape is there? It is a circular shape. So I am telling the difference. By doing 1 pin means it is, what is happening? Circular shape is formed. But by doing the 2 pins, what happens? See once more. The shape is an ellipse. So let us move further. So see here, this is an ellipse. So here two foci are there. How many foci are there in an ellipse? See, 2 focal points in an ellipse. But in circle there is only 1 focal point. Is that clear? So we move further. In your book, this diagram is given. You see your books. 2 foci, F1, F2, A, B, C. So here AF1 plus AF2 is equal to BF1 plus BF2 is equal to CF1 plus CF2. So by seeing the video, you keep your books open with the respective page numbers. So here I want to tell you the Kepler's law. First we have seen the path. Then when the path is elliptical, there are two foci. So just we have seen this activity. The orbit of a planet is an ellipse with sun at only one foci, not these two. Sun is at one of the foci. So see this activity. Sun is there, either this foci or this foci, any of them. So in this I have shown sun is there. This is the first Kepler law. What does the first Kepler law say? The orbit of a planet is an ellipse with sun at one of the foci. So let's see second law. Consider any one planet. I am considering the Earth. You all know all the planets revolve around the sun in an elliptical path in 365 days for Earth. So consider few points. So let us consider point A. When planet starts from point A and reaches to point B, suppose it covers 1 month time period. So likewise 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 again in this position. So it completes one revolution of the sun. So these 2 points I have considered, point A and point B. From here the sun reaches, from here the planet reaches to here, point A to point B. Coming forward, again point C and point D. Again consider third point E and F. So when the planet reaches this point and again it comes to its position. Likewise this process is continuously, it is a continuous process. So we can see the distance here. You can take the scale. It's very simple activity. You can perform and understand properly. See here. This distance, it is not actual but for understanding. Now see here. Distance is more. See here, and now see at the third point. Distance is more. In first, from point A to B, it is less. C and D, it is somewhat more, and E and F all more further. So what happens when the planet is near the sun? It moves at a faster speed. When the planet is away from the sun, its speed gets slowed down. So this is the path. So what is the second law? What does the second law says? The line joining the planet and the sun. See, the line joining the planet and the sun. Here, planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. Is that clear? It covers equal areas in equal interval of time. Here, this diagram is also there in your book. You please follow the books, all of them, all the students. This is the second law. The square of the time periods. The square of the time period. The square of the time period see in your books, students, the square of its time period of a revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the mean distance of a planet from the sun. If r is the average distance of the planet from the sun and t is its time period of revolution, so t square is directly proportional to r cube. So t square upon r cube, that is a constant value. So this is the third law of Kepler's. So here we have studied the three laws of Kepler's. So let us recall and summarize what we learned today. What we learned about the force, what the force can do. 5 effects of force is centripetal force, the center which is directed towards the center. It is also a center seeking force with the help of activities. So next what we do? We studied the Kepler's 3 laws of motion. Is that clear? So can we move further? Yes. So we are going to study Newton's law of gravitation. So is that visible? Okay. So let's summarize all of the concept and keep in mind what we learned today. Thank you.